So in the spirit of never-ending projects, I'm fixing to go pick up another one. So I'm gonna have like 10 projects. I've got to sell some stuff. There's gonna be some mass sales coming, but I keep getting more interesting projects that I want to tackle. That's just my nature, and it is a huge flaw. So I bought something on COPART. There's tons of videos out there about COPART and their processes, and a bunch of videos of people complaining about COPART, saying how bad their fees are and how they suck, and it was a terrible experience. Then there's those group of guys who or girls who have good experiences there and can't recommend them enough. So I'm gonna go check it out for myself. I just have to see for myself. There's several local COPART yards here in Atlanta, or the Atlanta area. And I'm going to one to pick up a vehicle, and you'll see the vehicle here in just a second, that I bought. In my opinion, I got a good deal on it. COPART does have a lot of fees. A lot of people complain a lot about the fees, but they are transparent. Everyone knows what fees they are. So let's go check it out. So just like most of the other videos, everything's loaded by forks. However, they did ask if we were going to drive it out, so I guess you can drive things out. I didn't know you could. I thought everything had to be trailered out, but pretty interesting. A lot of hot shot haulers, a few large car haulers, and then our little Tahoe and trailer. Maybe we'll be out in a minute. I don't know how far back we're in line. All right, I didn't video them loading it, but they just came right out and popped it right down on the trailer, so we're strapping it down now. We're gonna drive out of the lot. All right, so it is extremely windy, but here is what we got. And it was a seamless experience at COPART. Super easy. So as you can see, this is a front end damaged Jeep. We do have the suspension kind of compressed. It does have a 2.5 inch lift on it. We can verify that. All the missing parts looks like were takeoffs, but there are parts in here. So the missing grill and stuff. Ooh, 6-speed. I wasn't sure if it was a 6 or a 5-speed. It's an 05. So the missing grill's in there. So it's an 05 with about 130,000 miles. It is enhanced, which means it doesn't run, but it doesn't run because the coolant system isn't hooked up. So we don't have a jump box with us, but we will be jumping it. And once we get the coolant system hooked back up and then verifying that it runs, but I'm very confident. So let's talk a little bit about the process and how much I paid. Continue the video. I think I left off talking about how much we have spent on this. So we've done a little bit to it already. Talk a little bit more about it. So got it from COPART. I'll show you the auction real quick, or show you the ending auction. As you can see, I spent $32.50 on it, but I actually spent a lot more than that because COPART has some pretty steep fees, especially if you're not a dealer. After fees and all, I did go pick it up at my local COPART. It was about 40 miles away. So after fees and everything, to get it out of the lot and everything, I've got about $4,200 in this Jeep. Now, this was an enhanced Jeep, and that's where you find your deals, is in enhanced vehicles, because they don't run and people don't want to take the tour, scared of them. On this auction, I was pretty sure this Jeep would run. It's an 05 model, 130,000 miles, so having mechanical damage listed. So a lot of times enhanced just means they don't even attempt to crank them. If they don't crank right off, they don't even attempt. So a lot of times enhanced just means they couldn't get it to crank. We haven't cranked this one. It could be bad. We don't know. We're going to do that today on video. So let me think of it. I've got $4,200 in it. Let me show you what I've done and what we've spent so far to get it to where it's at right now. Total spent nothing, because I have so many Jeep parts left over from previous projects that we're able to get to source a lot of stuff. So I already had from, you can see it in one of my old videos where I was comparing the pavement ends tops to the I think it's the RXD top, I can't remember, but we found a stock rear bumper with no damage to go on it because it didn't have a rear bumper. We did flares. We had these old Sahara flares, or we found these old Sahara flares. that we're going to put on. I know green, we're going to get those painted because the rears are old school flares, which are an inch narrower. So I've got some Sahara flares for the back too. So we're going to take the Sahara flares, sand them down, paint them black. Hood latches, we've actually found one hood latch in the console, and the other hood latch came from a friend. Of course, the stock front bumper that we found. I was missing fender lights, which I had in my garage. So we've got fender lights now. That fender over there is a little tweaked. We're going to have to pull it out, probably pull it out by hand. Look inside of it. When we opened up the door, we didn't know what all was. You see in the auction that the grill wasn't on it. The grill was in here with the headlights. No damage. We'll go look at that here in just a second. One thing that you could see in the pictures, but you couldn't really tell, is that it did have an aftermarket deck on it. Looked like to me a subwoofer, and it was, which is great. We picked it up. This thing has Kenwood speakers in all four corners, which is really nice, and with the subwoofer, that's pretty good. No airbags had deployed, so when looking at that particular auction, I was pretty confident that I was planning on going up to about $3,500, standing that I'd have close to $1,000 in fees. The kicker was that this is a black Jeep with hard doors, and I wanted hard doors for my Jeep over there. This allows me to now have hard doors transported from this Jeep to my Jeep, and we'll get my half doors. The main damage that didn't allow them to crank it was, here's the grill. The radiator was here, which I don't see it right now, but the radiator was in the fan. So here's the original fan. You can see we pulled out some dents where this was bent in. A few of these were bent in. The radiator was in the fan, that's why they couldn't crank it. So I have another 4.0 motor sitting over a little ways from here that we're going to get a new fan off of, or a used new fan off of. And then this radiator came off of my pretty low miles 97 that we had scrapped, so I will be able to use it too. Just need to clean it up where I went mudding a few times. Got a little mud in it, but it works perfect. It's an OEM Chrysler radiator. So with all said and done, our hope is to, other than just fluids and things, because obviously we'll change the oil and things like that, will be to have about $4,400 in it, and then we'll have to pay to get it inspected and retitled. This is a 97 clutch, and it comes off with 4 bolts. 2005 clutch, and it comes off with just one large shank. However, the fans are identical, and they're also asymmetrical, so don't think you broke it when you took it off. And they can just be replaced because they just go right on the clutch. The clutch is what attaches to the water pump. Original radiators from my 97 Jeeps mounted to this one. Now it mounts the same. There's really nothing different between 97 and 05.
38.
I'm ready.
Don't roll off.
Please don't kill me. Didn't even hesitate.
Can you believe that? Look at the timing and everything. Perfect.
No leaks. Alright, so we know it runs. Now let's see if she will drive. It's moving. Stop. Well, she moves. She looks good too. Guys, we're through for the day, and we've gotten so far on this Jeep. This thing's about ready to inspect now, so I'll show you kind of where we're at. Well, let's take a look at where this Jeep is now versus what y'all saw before. So the only thing we have left to do is to fix the headlight switch. It's got a bad headlight switch. And get these flares painted. We're painting these flares black, and I've got some matching Sahara flares for the back that we'll paint black. So here's what else we got to do to it. I've got some 33-inch BFG KM2s that we're putting on it after it gets inspected. So the JK wheels will come off of it. Actually, it'll still have JK wheels on it because the BFG KM2s are on JK wheels. These hard doors are going to my Jeep. My half doors are going to this Jeep. And that is my $4,000 COPART Jeep. FYI, it has been inspected. It did pass inspection. So guys, the auction Jeep is almost done, and it is looking good. I didn't do hardly any of the work on it. I helped put the front end back together. since this will wind up being my dad's Jeep once we transfer everything over to him, he's been doing most of the work. For those eagle-eyed viewers that have been with me for a while, you'll recognize these old tires and wheels. These were on my Jeep back when I first started making videos, before I even put my fenders on, and I still had them. They were in storage. You can see there's still a lot of tread on them. So those are now his tires. But it drives great. The 6-speed is awesome. You can see that we painted the front flares. Those used to be green and they are Sahara flares, so they're a little wider. Still have to do the rear. You can see the front basically covers the tire and the rear not quite. It's about 1 inch off. So you can see lots of pollen. You can see that my old half doors are on there. I now have the hard doors, and my half doors were tan. And you can see we got nice new black uppers. Just kidding. We'd use vinyl spray paint to paint them, and it came out great. Came out real great. And I think it's going to be pretty durable too. Winch coming. That's a new winch plate we got. We're going to cut the bumper kind of like mine, and it is looking real nice. So again, we've got hardly nothing in the Jeep other than what we spent on the Jeep. So I spent, like I said earlier, about $4,200 on the Jeep. We put maybe a couple $100 max into everything we've done to it. So we'll have, after inspection and everything, we'll have less than $5,000 in it. So now we're sending off for the title, for a rebuilt title, and it will be tagged very soon. This Jeep will be at Jeep Beach Jam with me, along with my Jeep. I know I've had a ton of projects. I've still got smart car projects. I've still got Corvette projects. Still have my Jeep to finish, and then now this Jeep. Guys, thanks for watching all my mini projects that I never get done and bearing with me on all that. But guys, thanks for watching and have a great day.